So I made a YouTube video a while back called How to Train AI to Write in Your Exact Style. And I was a big advocate for AI writing, saying how phenomenal it is at writing, how you can almost never tell if you know what you're doing with tailoring the custom instructions and your project files. And I was wrong, kind of. Let me explain. First, I'll begin with the things I think I'm still correct about. One is that AI can be phenomenal at writing. Again, if you know what you're doing with tailoring the custom instructions and your project files. And when I say tailoring, I mean doing things like I use WhisperFlow, which is an AI transcription tool, and I hold a hotkey, I talk away, and it gives the output, cleans it up a bit, and I use that for prompting and writing and everything. It's amazing. It's way quicker than typing. And what WhisperFlow does is it stores all my transcripts in its app, and then I can just copy those, send them to an AI like Opus 4.6 in batches, and tell it to analyze the nuances, the style, the tone, the idiosyncrasies of my voice, and then turn it into a guide that I can add to a project file and turn into custom instructions that I can add to a project. And then I just go to that project anytime and say, write this in my writing style. And it sounds just like me every time. It's kind of ridiculous. So if you know what you're doing, AI can write super well and you can almost never tell the difference. I also think as these models continue to improve and get better, we are reaching a point where you actually won't be able to tell. Even if you don't give it a full-on breakdown of your voice and the idiosyncrasies of how you speak and talk and think. Even if you don't give it that, it's still reaching a point where it's writing so good. And this didn't click for me until Claude dropped Opus 4.6, and the creative writing is exceptional. Even the copywriting, any writing I do with it is just so good. So yes, AI can write. There's a concept called AI spikiness, where basically it branches out into certain fields, and it's really good at something like coding, and it's not the best at something like, real human tasks like relationships or therapy, maybe, stuff like that. But AI is definitely spiky now in the realm of writing. I did some research before this video, and I found out that already 52% of new articles are AI generated, and 75% of new pages have some AI text. So it's already everywhere. And mind you, that's not even accounting for social media. I mean, just imagine Twitter, how full of AI it is, and people using AI scripts for videos, even on YouTube or on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. It's everywhere. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because here's something to think about. Even though there's all this AI content flooding the internet and your algorithm feeds and everywhere, if it's providing you value, if it's helping you learn, if it's entertaining you, if it's making you laugh, if it's adding some curiosity, giving you ideas, helping you with creativity, things like that, is that bad? I would argue no, because it's giving you that value. It's helping you in life. So who really cares if it's AI or just some random person on the internet telling me those things or writing those things? Value is value at the end of the day. If it's helping you with your life, solving problems, improving your quality of life, it's good. Okay, so that's my rant there of the pros of AI in relationship to writing and some other things to think about. Now, what about the negatives, the things that I was wrong about and that I'm changing my mind about? Oh, one thing is that since writing is something that I'm actually wrapping up in my last semester of university, wrapping up in uni for. I'm an English major, believe it or not, with a film focus. So I chose that degree because writing was a talent for me. I got a lot of signals early on from feedback from teachers, professors, even just people online that I have a talent for writing, a natural ability. And I find it very easy. I get into a flow state with it very easy. But then I found myself learning that AI can do it and do it better than me and just outsourcing it because it was easier. And then I realized that was hurting my articulation, my train of thought. I was speaking and I would be able to articulate myself decently well, but then my train of thought would kind of end and I'd be lost. Literally lost. And I was like, why is this happening more and more? And it was because, possibly, of my over-reliance on AI for writing. Because as Jordan Peterson said, writing is a form of thinking or something like that. And the idea is when you're writing, it's basically a slowed down, clear version of thinking where you get to emulate your thoughts and pause and reflect and write and think better. And the better of a writer you are, the better of a thinker you are. And then that can branch out into how you articulate yourself and how good of a speaker you are, how you persuade people, market, sell yourself, your services, connect in relationships, persuade people, move people, tell stories, all of those things. At the end of last year, I found out I was a top 1% ChatGPT user. And at first I was like, hey, and then it kind of hit me and I was like, oh, I used AI a lot. I might be over relying on it. And why am I using it for the thing that I am good at, that I want to get better at, and that I might have a talent in, which is writing. I should be practicing my own writing, even if it's messy human writing, and learning and iterating and improving and growing in those skills. Because writing is something I view as essential. It's something that's worth my time and effort, and that's high value when I do it. And yes, this is all coming from an AI educator. When AI writes, there's this interesting concept that shows up called cognitive debt, which is this endless cycle, which is AI writes a thing, so then your brain disengages, and then the skills atrophy over time, and then you rely more on AI. And then it does the writing, disengage, skills atrophy more, you use it more. And then you're just only using AI for writing. And if we think about the MIT study in 2025, a lot of people were freaking out about this, saying, oh my goodness, it's killing critical thinking skills, all that. This isn't necessarily true. We need much of a longer study over more years. Because the gist here is they had them write an essay, and the students could either only use their brain or use Google for help or use ChatGPT, and they could do whatever. And they had most brain activity when they just used their brain, and then they had less when they used Google as an assistant. And then when ChatGPT wrote their essay, they had the least brain activity. It's like, duh, no shit. No shit if you're using AI to write your essay. You're not writing it, so you're not engaging with your brain. But from my experience, from over-relying on AI a lot and then backing off, I did notice actually an effect in my critical thinking abilities and being able to articulate myself and keep a good chain of thought going and flowing naturally without losing what I was saying and being like, oh, I forgot what I was going to say there. Which I found myself when I was over-relying on AI for writing and even thinking, I found myself getting into those moments a lot. So TLDR, do not over-rely on AI, especially for things where it encourages you to think. Just because it is easier and quicker doesn't mean you should give it to AI. Because when you give something that is hard for you to do over to AI, that means you're not spending that time problem solving, using your brain, figuring it out, and getting an answer, but then improving your own skills, even though it took longer. So you need to deem what's essential and what's worth your time and what's non-essential. The highest value tasks you should do, and then the non-essential stuff that you're fine with AI doing, give to AI. So just so you understand it better, something that's essential, that's the highest value tasks you do. The novel stuff, the creativity. It's the thing that you're the best at, that lead to the most results and help you be most effective, that make you, you. That again, you deem worth your time. So things like novel ideas, creativity, relationships, natural talents, skills that you want to build by going down the hard path, learning the hard way. And then something non-essential would be things that you just hate doing, that eat your time, that you are fine automating and giving to AI. Things that are not as valuable to you, that you still need to get done, and that you don't think are worth your time. So these could be things like immense deep research, great tools in ChatGPT and Gemini for that, crafting the perfect professional email to your boss. You're like, oh, I have to say this in the whole corporate manner. I wish I could just riff. Well, you can just riff in a prompt and then tell it to make it professional. Or just reading that long article you have to read for school or work or what have you. And you're like, I don't really want to, but I guess I need to know the gist. So you just have it summarize it, give you the key points, understand the theme, and etc. Because both of these have more elements to them. But that's the gist. So to me, writing is something that was essential and that I should be doing more. So I am. I've started doing my own X posts more instead of just regurgitating other people's ideas or concepts. Same thing with LinkedIn. I'm doing a lot more writing there. Also because I think a lot of my avatar lives on LinkedIn and it feels good to write that way. Even if I'm messing up the spelling or a letter or a little grammar issue. I was still using AI for writing, but in a different way. So I recommend 3 ways of using AI if you're still going to use it when writing, but you don't use it in the way that you're thinking. So you should use it for brainstorming ideas, explaining something you're thinking about talking about. It gives you a list of different concepts or ideas around it, and then you take those and you write. You don't say, okay, write that. No, you go and write based off of that. You can have it ask you questions, some things that you might have missed or haven't thought about or that you're thinking about and you want it to ask you and quiz you about and get you thinking critically about. And then that'll help with better writing or just to iterate some angles and metaphors. Write yourself, then maybe give it a line. Say, I'm not really a fan of this one line within the broader context of what I wrote here. Paste what you wrote. And then it'll give you some ideas or tips, maybe some metaphors or analogies that'll help people understand what you're writing. Because one of the points of writing is so people understand what you wrote. If they don't, then you're a bad writer. So yeah, just view it like a partner and not your author. Once it becomes your author, you're not thinking anymore. You're going to become a worse writer. And this is the same for things even not related to writing. Keep in mind that AI is a partner. I also caught myself basically giving my completed writing to an AI and being like, okay, I want you to leave this exactly as is, leave the style, the tone, the nuances, just check it for any little spelling mistakes or maybe any little grammar errors, fix those, make sure you tell me what you fix at the bottom so I can learn and understand them, but leave everything else exactly as is. And then it would basically do what a platform or company like Grammarly would do, if you're familiar with that. It would just tweak that stuff only, tell me what it changed, and then I just have a cleaned up version that still is exactly what I wrote. But I even stopped doing that. So why? Well, this is where things get a bit more philosophical, because if you are using AI a bunch, like me, I use it literally all day. I use all the different tools. I even teach them in my AI mentorship. It's a whole thing. You get this new skill and ability of being able to detect if something is AI. Your AI radar basically gets improved and you can hone in a lot better on that's AI. Yep, that's written by AI. Oh, that's definitely AI. I can tell. It's kind of this natural ability you start developing, which means a lot of other people are also developing that AI radar. And yes, this seems contradictory because I just said that these models are getting so good that you're not really able to tell if it's AI or not. And I still believe that, but I think we're a couple of years until that's just overall all the AI written content you actually don't know anymore. But in the meantime, your gut instinct, your intuition about, I think that was written with AI is usually right. Obviously, and unfortunately for some writers, the M dash or the double dash was received as a clear signal that something was AI written. So that tends to be a giveaway now. But also, if it's just too perfect, that's become a giveaway. So that's why I stopped doing the Grammarly check basically with Gemini or ChatGPT. Because having a little typo or something is a signal that it's human written, meaning that someone took the time to think with their brain and write something out authentically. And that makes that piece of content much more valuable in a sea of AI written content that is usually slop because most people don't really know what they're doing when they're writing with AI. Too many people are just copying and pasting. So I guess the good news is I don't do that basically ever now. So the human touch is becoming more valuable. Not having it be picture perfect and exceptional every time is becoming valuable. Being authentic is helping people win. I think you escape competition through authenticity. And that's becoming more and more true the more time that you create something without AI. I mean, even Apple TV's new intro that they do, that was actually not made with AI, and they showed the whole production of it, and that got so much more engagement and praise, which is good on one side of things because, you know, humans made it. It's a really cool effect. It looks great, awesome, but it's not so good because it emulates this idea, especially in the US, how people view AI so negatively, which I am working to change. I'm an AI optimist, even though I'm riffing about this. So don't be afraid to write something on your own, even if it's a bit messy. And then if it's messy, you start noticing those things. People might call them out in the comments or something, and then you get to improve your writing that way, improve the skill. This is something I'm working on, and I enjoy it. I enjoy writing my own emails more, and that I've always done, but when I get into the content world, sometimes I might outsource a quick post here and there. Definitely on X, maybe occasionally on LinkedIn, although majority I've written there and elsewhere. I think scripting and content, this is a huge thing. When you use an AI script, it gets less engagement. It just does worse. People can tell it's a bit obvious, even if you think it's not, especially if you're just copying and pasting and not doing that extra effort. And that extra effort, by the way, would be using an AI transcription tool, giving a full-on brain dump of what you want it to do, having it organize it, doing some extra research, having it organize that, reading through it, the whole thing, giving your own input, then using that. That could be deemed as okay. But just copying and pasting and doing a little bit of work and taking that verbatim and using that, not so good. So even for scripting YouTube videos or short form videos, things like that, I've even ventured away from AI because that authentic idiosyncrasies and the personality and who you are as a person shines through when you're not using AI scripts and AI overviews and things like that. So I recommend you do your own scripting as well. There's also this interesting test that was done, which was a blind test. People didn't know if something was AI or not. It was kind of like a large survey. Also, there's been some studies like this, and people preferred the AI output, but not if it's labeled AI. Then the trust drops, and then they were like, okay, that's AI. I don't like that. Someone didn't make that. This is now worse. But before, when they didn't know it was AI, they couldn't tell. So they just straight up preferred it. And again, AI content is everywhere. And people that really know what they're doing, like if I wanted to, I could just completely rely on AI and just do the new way of working, which is focusing on the beginning, the clear instructions and context and the engineering around that, and then refining at the end, doing the extra little work, letting it handle the middle and get an amazing output. And people wouldn't know, but I would know. And I want to sleep a bit better at night. And if a solar flare happens and technology vanishes and people can't rely on this tool that is now their second brain, then I want to be competent and skilled enough and intelligent enough to thrive still. I mean, heck, if Claude or ChatGPT just kind of stops working, I kind of panic and I'm like, oh, what do I do? Oh, this is so much slower work now. Why can't I just get back up? Okay, screw it. I'm going to Gemini or Grok. So the reliance thing it's intense. It's quite a pull, but just focus on using AI on the things you deem non-essential and make sure you have things that are essential that you do and don't use AI for. I do believe in the next 5-ish years, the ones who use AI and know how to use it are definitely going to beat and win over the ones who don't. I mean, heck, that's why I have my AI mentorship and teach people how to use these tools and become more skilled with them. But I think in the long run, we're going to reach a point where so many people over rely on AI. So their life might look like, okay, they go to the job they just don't really like or they hate, and then they just use AI tools the whole time during the work and just over rely on it, and it just does everything. And then they come home and they doom scroll endlessly, and then maybe they do some other things or have some ideas, but they just give it all to AI. Then they go to bed and repeat. So they become kind of these mindless flesh bags. A bit scary. So that's why still being curious, still taking the time to learn on your own, still taking the time to go down a hard path where you're forced to learn these skills internally and with your brain, which is still your God-given best tool ever. The ones who are able to be very intelligent, have good emotional intelligence, high IQ, just being able to be competent and have good wisdom through lived experiences without over-relying on AI, they're going to really win in the long run. So it's a matter of learning how to use the tools immensely for whatever you want to do, then learning when not to use the tools and getting very clear on that with AI, and then just leveraging it in the best areas of your life, ideally the non-essentials, and then focusing on your stuff in the essentials. And then this will lead to you getting all the benefits of AI without all the negatives that are going to come from over-reliance on it. And then you're going to be very intelligent and competent in the long run as well, and you'll just win. Short-term and long-term. So that's my rant about AI. Longer video. If you're not rocking with a longer video, then you can fuck off. Because sometimes I like to dive into the weeds of AI philosophy and the more conceptual stuff rather than the tactical. And hey, if you want tactical, there's plenty of that in my school community. And of course, also give some out on the YouTube channel here. And short-form videos, LinkedIn, X. I'm everywhere. Personal brand, baby. Anyway, I hope my rant here kind of got you thinking about some ideas about when to use AI, when not to, about using AI for writing if you're a writer like myself. And feel free to comment anything. I'll be answering questions. Give me any ideas of what you want videos on. There's some free links in the description you can check out. There's a paid one to my business. Like every YouTube creator you watch, I have to point to one of these corners, so I'll pick this one. And that's a video YouTube recommends you should watch. So go with the recommendation. Thanks for watching. Don't over rely on AI. Become the thing that's not replaceable, but still learn how to use the tools properly. Cheers.